Hello and good afternoon. I'm Jill Johns with one of the mentors with Cornerstone, and this is group Q&A on what is today, Tuesday, October 14th. Phew, another month is zooming by. So this is, unlike some of our other sessions, this is an open Q&A session where you have the option to unmute yourself and ask your question. Or if you're not comfortable doing so, you are welcome to open up the chat window and put your question in there, whichever makes you more comfortable. Hello, Troy. Nice to see you again. I see lots of familiar faces. I think there may be one or two that are maybe the first time joining on one of the sessions I'm hosting. So welcome, welcome. To all of those of you, if you're brand new with Cornerstone, welcome to Cornerstone. And it's great to have y'all with the family. So questions, the floor is open. So whoever wants, if there's one of you that's brave enough to get us started with that first question, the floor is yours. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Samantha. Hi, Christy. Anybody? Anybody? I don't see anybody unmuting. Nobody? Nobody? Okay. Anybody? Anybody? Hello, Penny. Still no questions. Okay. If you've been on any of my Q&As before, you know what happens is I start just randomly sharing stuff, whether you want to see it or not. Hi, Jennifer. Kristen has come off mute. Do you have a question?
I was looking on YouTube today and I noticed someone was talking about BranchUp, I think it's called.
Yes.
Have you used that before?
Yes.
So it's legit. I just
Yes.
want to make sure
Yes. If you'd like more than yes answers, I'm happy to talk about that. So BranchUp is one of those it's a social sharing program that they actually used to have an affiliation with Norwegian Cruise Line. So much like Royal Caribbean, where you can go into marketing and get access to Rallyo, Norwegian used to work with BranchUp, but now Norwegian works with co-branding websites for travel advisors. So they kind of broke away from BranchUp, but you absolutely can still use BranchUp. They have a free account that will work with a business Facebook account. And then they have a paid version that will also post to Instagram. I don't know why they decided to make it that way, but for a long time they didn't have access to Instagram posting. And when they did, they decided to charge for it. But I absolutely use BranchUp. I still use them even once I started using them through Norwegian. And then when they disconnected, I was still using them and I still use them. So I also use Rallyo if you're interested in other automatic posting platforms. There's Rallyo, which is available through Cruising Power, and they will post Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, and Silverseas, the three brands for them. And then there's also with your agent profiler account, once you hit that 100% and get published on your agent profiler account, within a couple of business days, once you're all approved and published and everything, you should get an email that with an invite to what's called Social Share Pro. And that is available through Travel Leaders Network. And again, it's yet another automatic posting platform. If you want, let me show you. I'll share my screen and jump you over to my Facebook page and I'll show you. So what's nice about it is that all these platforms can do these posts for you, but nobody's going to see it. I'm going to shrink down these little photos of everybody. Move that out of the way because it's always up in the corner. Let me just switch over to my business page and then get straight to my business page. So welcome to Portside Travel by Jill. This is my business page. And I'm super excited. I'm 31 followers away from 2,000. Woo! It's taken me forever. I swear I hit 1,900 about a year ago, and it's just kind of stalled. But anyway, I'm digressing. So you can see here, this one is published by BranchUp. The nice thing is that your followers and your potential followers cannot see this. They do not see that BranchUp posted that. It looks like it just came from you. This one is one that I posted because it's a travel memory. This one, here's another one from BranchUp. That's another travel memory. This one I shared. I've been sharing a bunch. I'm trying to meet all my meta. So here's one from Soshi, which is Social Share Pro. And the nice thing is you can kind of go in and configure from their libraries which types of things you want to post. There's another branch up somewhere in here. I should have a Rallyo post. There's a Rallyo post, and here's a Rallyo post. So this one is for celebrity cruises.
Yeah, I use
And
Rallyo. I
so,
just wasn't sure about Branch Up.
yep, you can absolutely use it. You can just go to branchup.com. You'll have to link it to, like I said, it does need to be a business Facebook page. I don't know if it will work with a professional business page, like if you've turned your account professional. But so you can log in. It should remember me, thank goodness, because don't ask me what my password is. So you can see there is Branch Up Pro. It's, you can do profile stuff. Yeah, you connect your social media. It looks like I need to it says click to refresh, and yet it's still posting. So I couldn't tell you. Instagram, that shows you that it needs pro, but it looks like you can also now post to LinkedIn and do client newsletters. I obviously haven't gone into any of that. And these are some of the posts that it's either posted or coming next week. So here's last week's post, this next week's post. And you can go in and modify these just like you can in Rallyo. And even once you get Social Share Pro, you can always go in and tediously update them to include your own hashtags and stuff. Some of them will automatically do it, like that one that I showed. There was one that I did, the celebrity one for Rallyo. I know that one seems to automatically post it, but a lot of these you have to go in and manually edit them. And one is, yeah, see post. Oh, no, that's last week. Wrong. There we go. Go to the right one. So from here, then you can just add whatever hashtags you want to. I've been typing my name a lot, and so I keep putting spaces in. And so there, that one now has my business name attached to it. Because of course, who doesn't want to have your business name showing up anywhere and everywhere you possibly can? But yeah, nothing wrong with using this, just going in there and configure it. And I want to say they have some videos. There's some help files and stuff that you can look at if you're not sure. They've got a knowledge base. So you can kind of take a look at that and may help you out with configuring it. But so that's Branch Up. I use all three. Lots and lots of auto posting because I don't like posting. Oh gosh, where do you recommend looking for discounted Disney tickets? So I can tell you, for one, I'm not a Disney person, so I'm probably not the best person to ask that question. But for Disney discounted tickets for a travel advisor, I do know that you need to have your individual CLIA card, which if you don't already have that, registration has closed for 2025. So you'll need to wait for 2026 to open up sometime next month. And then the credit, of course, any discounts would not be applicable until 2026. Because I do believe with Disney, you have to email them a copy of your card. If there's anybody on here who's a Disney or Universal person, feel free to chime in with a more knowledgeable response. But that's what I've learned from the post, is that for discounted tickets for Disney, you do need your individual CLIA card. But then it should be somewhere. I wish that one of our other folks were on here. Trying to see if anybody on here's a Disney person that I know of. Nope, not tonight. It doesn't look like. I believe you can still access them straight through the Disney, through Vax, maybe. Jennifer's unmuted. Do you know the answer to that question?
I have a little bit of knowledge, so I will
Okay.
share what I know. So
You probably have a little more than I do.
once you complete the Disney training, then you get access to discounted tickets, but I believe it's only like one. So like if you're trying to get it, if you've got like a family of 4, you basically get your ticket either discounted or whatnot, but then you're going to end up paying, I think, full price for the rest. So I think it's one of those situations that it might just be better to just go ahead and buy it, get your commission back from it. Maybe not, but.
Got it. And I think, and I want to say, I also saw somebody post that it's maybe an annual discounted ticket. Does that sound like something you've seen?
Yep, it's per year. So you'll get
Okay,
like
so
access to all of them. Like you'll get one to Disney and one to Disneyland and one to Disney Cruise Line and one for each of the like
okay,
different categories, if that makes sense.
okay, got it. Perfect. So Christy, I hope that helps. If it's still a little gray, I will recommend that you throw your question out on the Facebook group for Cornerstone, because I know that we've got some mentors that are Disney experts or book a lot of Disney and Universal that can definitely, and as well as other agents as well, that can answer that a lot better. But I do believe Jennifer's right. Like I said, I try to read it. If I'm not answering questions, I try to read questions and go back, especially if it's something that I don't book like Disney and Universal. I do try to go back and consciously read the answers to the questions, because I do host these Q&As, and to you, even though I don't book them, I really do try my best to get answers. So it sounds like do the training, then you should have access to, it sounds like, one annual ticket per Disney or Disney chain. So each kind of leg of the chain. But if you want to confirm that, feel free to throw that out there. Hello, Miss Lois. I saw you join. Okay, let me see what else we've got here. Penny, I've had issues with Social Share Pro, but doing great with BranchUp. With configuring it or having it automatically work? Penny, that question is for you.
Connected, but then once
Okay.
I try to log in, it says API token expired. So I emailed Share Pro for help.
Okay, and have they been able to help you, or you're still waiting for a response?
I'm still waiting, but I'm able to use BranchUp, so I'm happy. I'm not picky. I can use the calendar on Travel Leaders and use it that way, but I can't get it to connect to my Facebook page for some reason to do the auto like posting.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I have this bookmark, so I always have to remember. I have the Sushi page open like all the time because I can't ever remember the log on, and for some reason I don't think I've put it in my spreadsheet yet. Had me put it in my spreadsheet.
I'm also
Okay.
having trouble with Social Share Pro because I didn't realize that once your profile goes to 100%, that you only have like 14 days to claim that link, I guess, before
Okay.
the permissions expire.
Oh, so did yours expire, Jennifer?
I think so, yeah.
Email Vicky.
Maybe that's what happened to mine.
So email
I have.
Vicky. Okay, and so because I believe she can resend you another invitation to it.
Yeah. I've asked, and she's telling me that it's Social Share that isn't approving me yet. So then I emailed Social Share, and they said it's us that have to activate it. So I don't know. I'll reach out to her again. I just know she's got a lot on her plate with convention coming up, so I'm trying not to be a bothersome.
She is, depending on how long it's been since you asked her that question last time, you can always email her and CC Amy, just so that Amy's aware that the question's out there as well.
Okay.
I usually only do that if something is, if we've not gotten an answer, especially if, you know, if the supplier is kicking it back, then maybe Amy needs to know that. And so if Vicky, in case Vicky doesn't get a chance to see it, perhaps Amy might be able to send you a quick response, but so maybe just CC her on that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. So let me look through the questions real quick. Let's see. Okay, so no other questions. Let me see about, let me share my screen. So this is what my Social Share calendar looks like. And I honestly don't remember how I set it up. I know that I went in up here and I linked my accounts. I actually just relinked my TikTok. Don't ask me why, because I don't use TikTok. I set up the page a long time ago and I looked at it and I went, oh, yeah, that's so not me. And for some reason, I got a wild hair today. I was tinkering around and I keep getting emails. This Rallyo kept saying, you need to reconnect it. You need to reconnect it. I didn't even realize I connected it to Rallyo in the first place. So I did reconnect it. But this is what mine looks like, and you can go through the libraries. Do you get this far, Penny? where you can see the calendar?
No, I can't get that far. But when I go to like, I tried to research it myself and I went to like the business page and it showed me how to troubleshoot it. It shows that it's connected. But then when I try to, there's like no calendar or anything there.
Okay.
I think I have like a broken link or something because there's something, because like I said before, I think I told you a couple weeks ago, I was denied social share in the beginning and then I guess I did enough posts. I'm not sure what happened, but all of a sudden I got the button that says you can apply now. So I applied, I got approved, and now it won't work.
Okay. And do you see this list over here on this left side?
Nope, I don't see any of that.
So what do you see?
When I go to, it'll say link your Facebook page. So I do it and I click it and it takes me and I have to log in. And then it
Okay.
says, it just spins and spins. And then sometimes a screen will come up and it'll say API, your token has expired.
Have you tried clearing your cookies and your cache for this website?
Yes, I did that for everything, and then that like took me forever to get into everything again. But that it was still, I tried that. I tried to remove it from my business integrations, like to remove it from Facebook altogether and redo it again. So it's been kind of a struggle. I'm like, I got
Oh,
branch out, so I'm okay
interesting.
right now. Yeah.
If you don't get response from Sochi and they're not giving you a good answer, email Vicky and CC Amy and just let them know what
Okay.
you've done and what's occurred and just see if maybe they can get you some direction.
Yeah, I'll do some screenshots too and attach it because
Yeah.
maybe something on my end that I have a like a block on something.
Yeah.
But I have branch up, so I would think it would I mean that's working.
Yeah, and it seems like if it would needed permissions, any extra permissions, it seems like you'd get some sort of a pop-up on that.
Right. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm not too stressed about it.
Yeah, and like I said, if they don't get you a good response, email Vicky and CC Amy and just see if maybe they can get you some direction on that. Just let them know that you're getting an API error and you're not sure if there's something broken in your account and just let them know what Social Share Pro folks are telling you and they can go from there.
I will. Thank you very much. Yep, I'll try that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And Katie, you say you have a question about commissions. I will see if I can answer that for you. Do you want to go ahead and unmute and ask? Oh, hi, Katie.
Hi. Okay, so yeah, so I just started in July. And so the first bookings I had were just a couple small things, just personal travel. Some the commissions on them were just, $10, $15 things. So nothing that's going to have accumulated yet to reach the threshold for a check. So I'm not expecting that.
Okay.
But is there any way for me to confirm, so I should be reaching that 90-day point. Is there any way for me to confirm that those commissions have been processed correctly to me?
You can email Cornerstone, email corporate. I know Brianna's going through an audit right now, so it might take her a little bit longer, but you could email Brianna and see if she can at least check. Just let her know, you're not up to the threshold yet. And honestly, if you haven't reached that $75 threshold for payout yet, that 90-day kind of goes out the window because you do have to, 90 days or not, you still have to meet that $75 threshold to get paid.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the check thing.
Yeah.
I just, because I'm just new, I want to make sure I did everything correctly in tests and that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know if there was any confirmation that was put into tests that yes, we see it in there. We're just waiting for you to meet that threshold.
Not until, usually it doesn't show up in tests until it's getting ready to be processed. It'll show up under my next check. Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I've got one I'm about 6.5 months out past trip and still hasn't been paid, and it's not on Cornerstone. It's baffling to me because I had two that were within 2 weeks of each other. The first one paid no problem, and the second one is just talk about a thorn in my side. And
Okay. So there's
So
nothing
stuff
that
does
just says, yep, we see it, it's there. Darn it. Okay.
no, but if you want to check, you can always email Brianna and just say, hey, I just want to kind of confirm that everything that I did everything properly, and that, even though I haven't met the threshold, is there a way to just at least confirm that yes, it's at least come to you guys and we're just waiting for me to meet the threshold.
Okay.
And then just give her some grace, because I know that you may have seen the picture Amy posted of the floor, and not the stacks of paper on the floor. Brianna's in the middle of an audit, so
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really like stressed about it. I just, it's
yeah,
because it's new. I just want to make sure I did everything correctly. So,
sure,
okay.
sure.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And you filled out your ACH and your W-9, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. And you got it in the test and on the trip and booking screen. So as long as all of that stuff was done, then yeah, it should process, pretty timely. Most of the suppliers are pretty timely. Every once in a while you get a really weird one, like the one of mine that is just gonna be I just don't even know what's gonna go on with that one. But every once in a while you get a weird one. All right. Well, we don't have any more questions in the chat, you guys, and we've only been on for 21 minutes. So anything you guys want to see tonight if you don't have any questions? For the newer folks, I'm happy to show stuff in tests. I sometimes pop in there and show some of my favorite features. I know Troy has seen my favorite features before because he's been on my sessions before. Hi, Troy. Yeah. Maybe a dumb question. There is no such thing as a dumb question, Christy. Can you tell me? Can you tell me if you have a do not sell type of resort? You said, oh, not so much of resorts, but I know that I think the last thing I heard was we're currently not using. There's a supplier that we're not currently using. Let me look. I
For
need to.
holidays, wasn't it?
Yes, Culture Holidays. Was that what the
Yeah,
one?
that's who I think it was.
Yes, that sounds correct. So Culture Holidays is a tour company. They do coach tours. We're currently on hold on using them because there's been some issues with them not paying. But other than that, that's probably, as far as resorts, might be a better question. If you've got a particular resort that you're looking at, you might want to post that question out on Facebook. I can tell you that with resorts and all-inclusives, one of the best things that you can do when you're doing research on those, hop over to TripAdvisor or some other forum that has a lot of reviews on places and see what people are saying about it, and always sort by most recent, because you don't want to look at positive and negative reviews from 5 years ago, because that none of it may apply anymore. If it was something issues with staff, or the room was outdated, in 5 years time so many things can change. So if you are looking at reviews on TripAdvisor, definitely make sure to sort by most recent. But you'll find great information to help support, as well as traveler photos and all that kind of stuff, which is a great way to kind of see what a resort is like, and what people thought. So Samantha, I'm still waiting for access to test. So you should have gotten an email within a couple of business days after you signed up, Samantha, and it would not come from Cornerstone. It's actually going to come from Travel eSolutions. So maybe do a search in your email. Sometimes it goes into the spam folder, so take a look for that. And if you don't see it, email Molly. I think it's Molly, and see if she can resend it for you. You're welcome. Who else has questions? And no, I'm not drinking coffee. It may only be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I'm not drinking coffee. It's just cloudy and rainy. I'm drinking hot cocoa. I'm not an all day long coffee drinker, in case you were wondering. All right. Like I said, is there anything you guys want to see? I can show stuff in tests. I can show stuff in Agent Profiler if you're stuck not at 100%. I can show stuff in Polar Online, which is Princess Holland America, Cunard and Seabourn. I can show whatever you guys. I can do my best to show you anything you want. Anything? Ooh, we got a quiet group today. Thank you, Bobby.
I actually have a question, Jill. Hold on, I'll turn my face
No
on for a second.
way.
Well, no, I was just thinking back to who was it? I'm still learning test tricks, and you and I haven't met enough to know all of your test tricks. But Amy taught me one the other, I don't know, a while back now. You know, the receipts section, like you go into the booking. I was just thinking if she wanted to track her commission and she wasn't to that dollar amount where they paid it, Cornerstone may eventually log it in as a receipt. Like if
Under the trip itself?
yeah, so for instance, go to one of your bookings that like you know was paid already. And then open it if you don't mind.
Nope,
And then
that's
go
no
up to the
problem.
booking tab and then pick one of the bookings and click on the booking number. And then up when you see
Oh,
that
you're
receipt,
right.
you click on that.
I
That should
forgot
at
about
least
that.
tell you if Cornerstone got paid. Is my thought process right? Or are they
Yes,
only
ma'am.
gonna consolidate that when they actually pay you out in the check?
I think that's actually when it gets processed for check, but I could be wrong. Well, no, sender, recipient was Cornerstone on April 23rd, and then Cornerstone to me on May 1st. So yeah, you're correct. Who did ask that question?
I'm looking back. I don't remember.
Katie. Katie
Katie.
said that. Thank you, Katie. So check there. Check there. So open your booking, open the booking itself. Like she said, open one of these. Of course, typically you may only have one. Go to this receipts tab, and if there's a receipt there, that should show you that it came from the supplier to Cornerstone and the date that they received it. So that will confirm that they received it. Thank you, Bobby. You know, I'd seen receipts a long time ago, but I just don't pay attention to that anymore.
I've had a couple when we were making that change of like how we describe things that are still out there where I can see Cornerstone got the money and they're just trying to
Right.
consolidate it the right way. And she explained that that's a good way to go back in and like maybe see what's wonky.
Perfect. Yep. Nope. You're absolutely right. That's a good one. Thank you for that. See, this is why I like having folks who have been on these before and who I know ask questions, because I know somebody's going to have answers to things. All right. Lois, did you have something you wanted to add or a question?
No,
Oh, okay.
because I was going
Where-
to suggest the same thing that Miss Bobby did. And
Aha.
because I played around in tests to find it out.
Perfect. Perfect. And I think I had found it that way once a long time ago too. I just, you get sidetracked and looking for other things and finding all the fun stuff. So great. Well, thank you, Lois, and thank you, Bobby, for your knowledge and wisdom. I appreciate that. All right. So who else has questions or something you want me to show you? Anything? Anything? Okay. I hate to show the same stuff every time. I need to come up with specific things I can show that I haven't shown for a while.
Have you done like mock bookings on how to show them how to advertise it on Facebook or social media?
I have not. I have shown how to do mock bookings in Princess for Polar.
Okay. Yeah, so they
Um,
could take that example to use in any other supplier or vendor. So
That
if
is-
you've done that with Princess, they could take that same knowledge and apply it to another supplier.
That is very true, and it has been a while. So if you guys are game, if you have questions while I'm showing stuff, don't hesitate to throw it out there. So I did bring up Polar, one source. So as you can see, one source is Princess, Holland America, Seabourn, and Cunard. To change cruise lines, you literally just click on their name. You can see the colors change. They all have similar layouts. Some of the information involved is going to be different. I did do a training on navigating one source back in May, all about things you can find and where to find them under these drop downs and down here and all that fun stuff. And then a week later, I did one just on Princess. So for over here on Princess, to book and manage or do a quote, you come into book and manage. And like I said, if anybody has a question not related to this or about this, anything, don't hesitate to throw it into chat or speak up. So to create a booking, of course, simple as create a booking. You also have the option, even if you were on Princess on this page, if you forget to tab over and you want to do one on Holland America, you have the option to change this drop down. And if you change that to Holland America, it blinks and now it's Holland America's booking engine. So pretty simple to navigate through the different cruise lines. So let's go ahead and start with create a booking. It shows myself as the booking agent, of course, and that's my Captain Circle number for when I book my personal cruises. That's my member number for loyalty. If you have the number, you can put it in here, or their phone number, you can search for them in here. You don't need that to do a quote. You can just do a quote. The things you do need to do a quote is the home city. It's the things in red. Stateroom type and occupancy, I don't worry about those because it has default information in there. You can always change that later. So default city, you plug that in. If you're not sure the default city, see the little magnifying glass, it's nice and simple. You can just click around. Palm Harbor, Florida is PLR. So now you know that you need to put in PLR for Palm Harbor, Florida. And the reason you want to put those in if you're doing quotes for clients or potential clients, I'll give you this little tip, is that sometimes as cruises get closer, they need to fill the space. So sometimes they will offer a special resident discount. So for example, for me and other Californians or West Coasters, possibly Washington and Oregon may also benefit, or even Arizona because they're close. We could get resident specials potentially on West Coast cruises, Alaska, California coast, maybe even Hawaii if they're trying to fill a ship, Mexico. Just like on the East Coast, if you're in or around the East Coast, especially Florida, your resident specials there would be for the Caribbean or Western Caribbean. And so having that home airport accurate is good because if that resident special is there, that's how it's going to find it. And you definitely don't want to quote somebody a resident special based on your own airport if they're on the East Coast. That's not good. Pick your date. Just follow along if you haven't done Princess, you're going to follow along the format. So it's date, three characters of the month, and then the year. And I see a question. Oh, my pleasure. Yeah. Take care, Lois. Have a great rest of your night. So like I said, if you want to narrow it down further, you can select the ship, even though it's not red and required. And I'll show you if you don't pick a ship, what happens is you get all the cruise ships that are within a similar time frame of September 10th, 2027. So to help narrow it down, I usually put the ship. So for this one, this is a cruise I've done. So and I like to do the by category list. You can certainly look at the different options and see which listing you like better. I like the category list because this is how it looks. Ta-da! What you're seeing here, that says group pricing fare TNR US dollars. This is actually a group that I have open. And then over here is your fit pricing. Now, one thing I want to mention, I know a lot of people ask on Polar, they say, how come the pricing on princess.com is so much less than what on Polar? The answer is because just like a group defaults to standard pricing, no drink package, nothing added. Whereas the fit pricing defaults to Princess Plus. And I can show you how you know that real quick. This little button, fare comparisons right here, shows you that NQP is the fall swing promotion. P plus means Princess Plus package. There is also NN4, which is Princess Premier, and NQS, which is Fall Swing Standard. So if you're going to price them standard pricing, you got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. So we could do TNR for the group, NQS. Now, a lot of times, especially depending on the timing of the pricing, the group pricing might be similar or the same as the current promotion. Once the cruise gets closer, that group rate has the opportunity to be a lot less because Princess just keeps jacking up their rates as it gets closer. You get a little disclaimer about the package. I can tell you Fall Swing is a non-refundable deposit, and they're moving more towards non-refundables with Princess. So now I've got the group on the left, standard, regular standard on the right. And you can see here that there's currently $50 difference, which ironically, the non-group pricing is actually $50 difference right now. So this is the per person pricing. You can see that here we've got 2 people. If you change that to 1 person, you need to hit submit changes. Now you can see that a solo is going to be $39.48 or $39.68, and this is base pricing with taxes and port fees. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to say that this is a solo pricing. I have a lot of solo clients, so for me, I might do a mock booking for a cruise and say, hey, here's the current solo pricing. This is a group I've got going. Here's the itinerary. Here's the current pricing. Let me know if you want to go. So we're going to go, let's just select the lowest one. The G means guarantee, which means all of that category is booked up, which means you're guaranteed a cabin of at least that category, but could get one higher just because of lack of availability. You're going to go save and continue. And here's your pricing. So that if you don't have their Captain Circle number, you don't know if they are a certain level or higher, they get the Princess Platinum, but for the same price as standard. So for quoting, it's okay for that to be standard. Transfers, if they don't want them, you can change that to no. You could see transfers and packages is $128. That's round trip, but we're going to say no transfers. So you can see base fare. This is how they used to list it. Fare used to be the base fare, and then there was a separate line for port fees and taxes. California initiated a ruling that said, and that it was adopted everywhere, that said taxes and port fees should be included in the fare, and it now is. So the fare is including the port fees and taxes. If they want to know exactly how much they're paying on this, you could actually see, to subtract the difference, that's how much they're paying in port fees and taxes. Vacation protection comes in at $356.47. Always tell your clients that's an approximate, because it can vary based on the price of the cabin and the age of the traveler, etc. So that comes in with a gross fare. The non-commissionable fare, they're not going to see that on an actual quote, and because it's in a group, this one comes with $60 onboard credit per cabin. So if this were 2 people, it would show us 30 and 30. And then if you want to do a quote, you can send it to yourself. I always send quotes to myself and booking confirmations, just so that I can personalize them. Hit send e-quote, that'll come to your inbox. You can modify it, or you can just take these figures and work up a nice Canva document or something like that that shows the itinerary and the pricing, and you could list that and see if you can get people to join your cruise. Deposit is due. You've got 72 hours with Princess. Deposit's $400, so that should be $200. Well, actually, no, they've increased it, so it's probably $400 a person. So 3 days to put that on. If you wanted to play with this booking, you could just save and continue, go all the way through, select a cabin, and that's a mock booking. You'd actually have a booking number. You could go back in and play with changing the category and that sort of thing. As long as there's no deposit on it, it will auto cancel by the close of business or by midnight on that date. But that's basically, you just go through. Shows your commission over here. Right now it shows 10% commission. It's not going to show the override commission until we're much closer to 2027, because the override commission on Princess is variable based on current sales of our agency. Another disclaimer you need to read and accept. Now is where you get the cabins. And I can tell you that this is not necessarily the whole list of available cabins, but it is a nice view where you can see Aloha A is Aloha 105, 106, 109. Shows you where the cabin is on Princess, forward, starboard, 166 square feet. The beds can either be 2 twins or 1 queen, and it's an interior cabin. If you want to see all the cabins available, click this cabin list button down here at the bottom, and you just got a whole lot more. Here's Aloha deck. B is for Baja. C is for Caribe. That's deck 10. Dolphin is D is Dolphin, which is deck 9. R is Riviera, which is 14, I believe. So it's 12, 14, 11, 10, and 9. And yes, I know that because I've cruise Princess a few times. So then you just pick your cabin, save and continue, enter your client information. You can always use yourself because you're not going to put a deposit down on it if you're doing a mock booking. You can either search for their number if you get their information at this point. Hopefully, if you're doing an actual booking, you'd have already had that. Change the bed configuration, twins or queen, a couple upgrade options, and anytime there's this question mark, you can always look at it for more information. And at that point, then you just hit book now, and it will come back with a booking number. You do need Princess, to my knowledge, doesn't allow TBDs. I've never seen it allow that. So you do need, unlike some of the other cruise lines, you do need to have a passenger in there. So I could search for myself. So there's me. So now it has my information in here. I actually get the upgrade to platinum. I have no middle name. Yes, that's really true. I have no middle name. I'm going to make it a queen bid. I'm going to do no upgrade. And then you just go book now. Dun, dun, dun. And now you have a completed mock booking. You have a booking number and everything. If you save this off, like I said, you can then go in and kind of look around at the different buttons, what information is offered here. Because there are a lot of buttons down here. Booking information, pricing summary, commission detail, voyage itinerary. So this is the itinerary for this cruise. It's a British Isles cruise. 12 days. You can see booking information. If you need to cancel this, if you want to cancel this manually without waiting for it to auto drop, up here, you say cancel, hit cancel booking. It's going to say you need to do it again. You'll get a pop-up. You'll click OK to, and then you'll come back and select cancel a second time, hit cancel booking. It will take you back to this screen, and then it will say cancel right around here in red. So it's as simple as that to do a cancellation. If you want to rebook or refare, you're going to do that in here. Change category, change fare option. Let's go change fare option, rebook. Search by category list. We're just going to go in the group category this time. I want to update to a balcony. So I'm going to update to a balcony. That tells me I have a future cruise deposit. We're skipping that. And then I'm going to save and continue again. So here's the new pricing for the BD category instead of the interior with the taxes and port fees. Here's the transfers, which this should actually come off once we commit the change because we had taken it out before. For some reason, when you reprice it, it'll show you, but if it doesn't say yes up here, it should kick that back out when you save it. So that would be the gross price. It'll actually be the $55.39 and the $497. So we'll just hit save and continue. We're going to go like this. I'm not going to upgrade. And then I'm going to see the whole. Now you can see here's the BD categories. It shows you aft port side, aft starboard side, 250 square feet. And this shows you if there's a connecting cabin. So there is some more information there. And I'm going to go read 628. I'm going to go save and continue. And it now shows that I'm in cabin C628. It says record updated. And just like that, I've gone from an interior to a balcony cabin. And this is now my 10% commission. And like I said, it will add an additional percentage commission as 2027 gets closer. All right. And you can do mock bookings like this in any cruise line and any suppliers. You can go to price agencies. You can do a lot of these mock bookings. And if you're not comfortable going all the way through the booking process, just get to those last screens and then you can always cancel out of it. But the cruise lines, like I said, you can go all the way through, even get a booking number, and then kind of tinker around with it, click all the different buttons, check out and see what information is there. I can even show you, let me show you a couple more quick things because I don't see any other questions. You guys really are a quiet group tonight, which happens. Let me go back. Oops, of course, it's going to kick me out at this point because I've modified it. So I'm going to copy that booking number real quick and then go back. See what I mean? For some reason, when you modify it without going out of it the first time, it gives an improper function. So you're just going to go to manage booking, paste that in, hit search. There's my booking again. So if you go back to booking information, actually, nope, I wanted, this time I want, let me scroll down so you can see all of these. So here you can see there's credit card payment, travel packages. Travel packages are going to be where you can, and it drives me nuts that it won't show. The package list, you can see that there's transfers from LaGuardia to the ship before the cruise. Here's transfer ship to LaGuardia Airport or ship to Heathrow. Here's also Heathrow to the ship. This is after. Tells you about how long the transfer is and how much per person it is. That's why it's $128 because the trip is about 2.5 hours by bus each direction. So that's 128 total. There's also sometimes these hotel accommodations. Usually they are quite pricey booking through the cruise line. They do book fast though. As you can see here, the hotels are already booked, waitlisted for a cruise. That's really weird. Hotels shouldn't even be available for fall of 2027 yet. So that's interesting. But these do book, their allotments do book up really fast. But so that's how you can add, if you haven't added them before, maybe they only want to add one. Let's say you went through and you had both of them on there. Let's say we had both of them on there the first time. Now they're telling you, well, we're going to fly in a few days early. So we're not going to, and we're going to go by train to Southampton. So you can come in here, you'll see that the information's here. And if it's not here, it's like you'll have, the check marks will be here. So basically what you would do is remove that check mark and then submit, and it would take it out and reduce it by $64. I have a lot of clients who do that. They go in early, they go, yeah, we'll just make our own way over to the cruise port so that we don't need to transfer on the front end. So that's easy peasy to come in here and change it. If you want to add gifts or special requests, you come into here where it says gifts and special requests. There is add a special request or gift. And then there's different categories. It's like if they're celebrating, you come into celebrations, hit submit. You can see there's an anniversary celebration, birthday, and you can see there's no charge for these. These are like the little streamers and a sign type of thing that they'll put in the cabin. You just select it, hit save and continue, go through the prompts. They've got dietary requests. There's I think a separate form now you have to do, medical requests, but so you can kind of click through these and see, here's their wheelchair, if they need a wheelchair assistance, if they're going to have a scooter, just let them know they're going to have a scooter. You can see it's not supplied. So you'd have to work with special needs at Seas or one of those that rents the scooters or the wheelchair if they don't have their own, but just come in here and fill in the information so that they know. And then there's also, you can add on, services as a gift. So you can choose one of these. You do, of course, have to pay for those. Merchandise and onboard credit. So this is how you would add a gift through Princess. And a lot of the cruise line websites have a method online to add the gifts and stuff. So it's just a matter of finding exactly where it is. Christina, I have a question, but I posted the Facebook group just a little bit ago. Oh, okay. Go ahead and ask Christina.
Can you hear me okay? I don't know how.
I can, yes.
Okay. So I did type it out, but it's kind of, maybe it's confusing. So I have 2 cruises booked for next August.
Okay.
And when I went in to make a payment on one of them, all of a sudden there was a 3rd booking there. That's not mine. I was able to click into it. It is another Cornerstone agent.
It's in a group.
I'm not, mine isn't in a group. It's
what date's your cruise?
It's August 21st. And it's
Ship?
on Ruby.
So this is how you can sort to look at existing groups. The 26th of August. Well, I'm not seeing a
21st.
group.
21st of August.
21st. So I'm
Yeah.
not seeing one.
Yeah. So I don't know why I'm seeing somebody. It shouldn't be a group because it's for me and my husband and then my niece and her fiance.
Are you,
But all of a
so
sudden it's a good person.
where are you seeing it? In your cruise personalizer?
Yeah. So when I go into
Is it princess.com?
manage, so let me go back to
Oh.
the main menu. So when I go to manage booking,
Okay.
and when I search the Ruby and then add in the cruise dates,
Oh, okay. So you're doing it down here?
let me get back to, I had to go do it so that I could tell you where it was. Yes. So when I do that,
Like
yeah.
that?
Okay. So Christina and Heather are me and my niece. So, but
So this is okay. So because
Okay.
it's not in a group, you can see that
Okay.
group is nothing. But what's going to happen? So I can show you. Let me show you something. So Princess is a little bit weird. Sometimes people think about groups and well, it's Jane set up a group. So is it okay to book into that? I don't know what the official answer is. I know somebody asked on had a screenshot of it was Royal or Norwegian or something and they were asking could they book into it. And Amy said, well, it looks like to be another travel agent's group. So here's something I can show you that happens. Princess in particular, you can create a booking. So that booking that I just did, I don't know if you saw that. So let me do another mock booking just super fast.
Yeah.
So let me just do this really super fast and I'll do another one and just show you what happens with Princess. If it were a group, you don't actually have a choice. If there's a group that exists, Princess dumps it into the group no matter what. And it will do that as long as it's a Cornerstone agents groups, because those are the only groups that we can see. And that should be the truth on other cruise lines also. Oops. I fat fingered that.
Because I didn't set it up as a group.
Right, but you're going to be able to see it in Carnival and some of the others, MSC and some of the others. You can actually see any agent's bookings that belong to Cornerstone.
And you could, but like it let me click into it.
Yes, and technically,
so we're just going according to trust and okay.
Now Carnival, the recommendation in Carnival is that you have the client add a PIN number to their booking because that will lock it to, you have to have the PIN number in order to make modifications. But not every cruise line does that. And I can tell you that if you don't want to, if that just throws you off by seeing those other bookings, you can do manage booking. And instead of doing it down here, you could put in your booking number. Let me pull one of those up. So you could just pull them up. What? Oh, because I hit the wrong. I clicked on the wrong one. So you could actually take this booking for yourself. If I can grab the whole thing, let's go back. You could search for the booking number here. And then you're just going to get that one booking.
And it doesn't, it was, I wanted to make sure that.
Yes, that
was my only concern.
Yeah, it can throw you off, and it's kind of like, yeah, it's just one of those things. We don't have any control over that, but because we're all under Cornerstone as the host agency, and they're all booked under Cornerstone's CLIA number, certain different methods of searching will show you other people's bookings. And it's like I have a group for autumn of 2027 that another agent has actually booked themselves into, and they may not have even chosen a group pricing. And that's one of the things is if that code exists and you can see that group code, even if you choose a different promotional code and not a pricing out of that group list, it still knows that there's a Cornerstone group and it's still going to plunk that group code onto that booking. And that's probably what happened for the person who's in my group. I don't know who they are, but it's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay on that too. So with groups, you're usually reserving a certain amount of rooms. So if you have somebody that pops into your group and you weren't planning for them, how do you deal with that?
But you just keep booking what you can, and if you need more space, you call the cruise line
Okay, so
and
you
hope that,
just
yeah,
call them and ask them for more. Okay.
yeah. I have, however, booked with Princess in particular. I have booked more cabins than I initially held. I just kept booking, and it just kept applying. I I don't know if that's just because there was still space available, and so it allowed it. Other cruise lines may be a bit more finicky about it. If you're doing a group with like Carnival, you might check with them and see if there's a way to put a PIN number on the group also. Um, or if there's any way to lock that down so people can't book into it. But yeah, it's just one of those things that unfortunately we can see each other's groups, we can see each other's bookings. I know it's been quite a while, but I remember one post from Amy months ago where a client went into Carnival, OCCL, saw a booking or some bookings that weren't theirs, and they canceled them. And it was a group booking. It was a group. And fortunately, Carnival was able to recover and restore them all at the existing price. But yeah, exactly, Bobby. It was one of those things where kind of like sometimes you'll see Amy post that somebody registered their business name under Cornerstone's IATA 100 suppliers. So then there were two of them, and Cornerstone and them under the same CLIA number. That happened with who was the most recent supplier that happened with? And she had to have everybody kind of hold on booking with them because they were trying to make sure that the agent who registered incorrectly wasn't receiving commissions instead of them going to Cornerstone. So sometimes things happen. But that was when Amy put the call out and said, make sure you put pins on your Carnival bookings. And kind of reminded everybody, if it's not yours, don't touch it. It's basically the general rule of thumb. If it's not your booking, it's somebody else's at Cornerstone's, because those are the only bookings you can see is if we're under Cornerstone. And if you see it, and it's not yours, just leave it alone. Let's see. Okay. Yes, Bobby. I think that's everybody's nightmare. That's the only time I've heard of that happening, though, was just the one time that Amy posted that about somebody canceling somebody else's booking. So I don't think it's a common occurrence. I think it was probably somebody just really knew who maybe panicked when they saw the other ones. Well, I don't know what these are. And I always tell people, when in doubt, call and ask somebody. Definitely ask the question, hey, I'm seeing these bookings. And somebody did say that. They said, they were in, like I said, they were in Royal or MSC or somewhere, and they said, hey, I'm seeing these other bookings, or these groups, whose are they? And it's like, if you can see it, it belongs to somebody in Cornerstone. So, well, gosh, you guys, I talked a lot tonight. It was a very quiet night for questions, but we did make it just about to the hour mark. Some nights are like this where there's just not a lot of questions. I think more people come to just hear what's being said. So I hope the mock booking was helpful. And like I said, you can do the mock bookings in most of our suppliers, and it's an excellent way to get practice, particularly with cruises, because there's so many different variables. If cruising is anywhere in your niche at all, it's great to do a mock booking. Like I said, go all the way through the booking process, get that booking number, because then you can pull it back up. Because like I said, you've got 2 to 3 days. Some cruise lines even give you, I think, 5 days. And it gives you that little time frame with no deposit on that mock booking where you can go back in and modify and practice changing the fare, changing the cabin, that sort of thing, without affecting anybody's booking, because there's no money down, there's no deposit on it, so there's nothing. It's not going to affect anything. It's just a dummy booking that you created for yourself that gives you the opportunity to practice. So Penny said, I just did the refresher training on Princess. It helps to practice. Yes, it does. And the mock bookings, like I said, are an excellent way to do that. I know Jordan Gradell with MSC, she's on our Wave Makers tomorrow. And I know she says the same thing. Mock bookings are great because you kind of get familiar with what's where, and you can kind of click around and and see what's available when you're during the booking process and all that fun stuff. All that fun stuff. So, because there are a lot of buttons. One Polar does have a lot of buttons. Probably more than any of the others. It has a lot of the buttons down at the bottom with the different tasks and stuff that you can do, the different features. And that I think maybe where a lot of people get confused is just because it's not right there on the screen. It's all down in those little buttons, which sometimes hide. Like you can see, I had to keep going to that far right scroll bar and scrolling down just a smidge more. But yeah, do the walk bookings, check those out. I hope it was helpful. I hope I answered enough questions tonight for it to be helpful. You have a great night too, Penny. So it is now 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So I'm going to, thank you all so much for coming. We had a good turnout, even though everyone was quiet. So I do hope it was helpful. I hope the mock booking and all that was helpful for you guys. And there's 2 more group Q&As on Saturday. I'm hosting the noon one, the noon session. So I'll be there at noon, and I can't remember who's hosting the morning session, but there is a different mentor hosting the morning session. Booking Q&A Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central, if you've got booking specific questions. And I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join me. Have a great one, you guys.